Hi there, it's Michelle from Little Acorn Handcrafts, and we are now in part 2 of the last of my winter yarn haul. So this is going to be the opening of my last box of Premier, but before I get on to that, public service announcement. So I know there's a lot of talk about these AI patterns being available for sale on Etsy. And I just thought that I would share that I fell victim to one of those really cute little Santa Claus. And of course, when you buy the patterns on Etsy, you can actually see the pattern before you purchase it. And as soon as I downloaded, I knew something was wrong. There's no designer listed in the instructions. There's no, you can use my design, but please offer me credit. And as I looked at the instructions, the head is many more stitches around than the hat. And in the instructions, it was telling you to put the beard on Santa Claus on top of the mustache rather than the other way around. Just obvious signs if you could see that part of it. And now this pattern is no longer for sale on Etsy. It's been taken down. But they're out there, so try to stick to designers that you know when you're buying those patterns. Definitely look at the comments and the feedback and rating of the seller to see if anybody else is expressing issues. And something that I have been paying more attention to since this happened is also the pictures that people post of their finished product. And you can definitely tell when the instructions have been way off, because buyer after buyer after buyer posts something that looks absolutely nothing like the picture of the item. So just a FYI. So I am running out of storage, so this really does have to be the end of it. And if you saw part 1, you saw that I'm going to start tracking how many skeins of yarn I go through in a week, and we'll see how much we can work this down. I crochet for probably 2 to 10 hours a day, depending on if it's a work day or not. And I rarely skip a day. Maybe on a holiday I might not crochet, but so I'm always working on multiple projects. So maybe I could finish things faster if I did things one at a time, but I get bored doing that. So I like to shake it up with projects that take longer to make, like full-size blankets, with some other projects like an amigurumi item, scarf and hat, or a baby blanket that might work up faster. Projects that are using larger weight yarns, that go a little faster than other things I might be working on that I'm going to definitely spend some time on. So that is the goal as we head into the new year, is to work this yarn supply down so that in the spring, when all the new stuff comes out, I'm ready to do this again. All right, so most of the Premier order this time was intentional. I selected some things that I'd been watching for a while that either were still or had gone on sale. So a lot of things that match. So we'll get this out and I'll try and share kind of what I thought might go together. There's a lot of yarn in here. I think I'll start with this painterly. I have been seeing a lot of this worked up just by itself. It looks really beautiful, the color, the way that it's distributed within that solid color, and then maybe doing a pretty border. But Premier also has a feature on their website where you can compare yarns, so you can line these up next to some solids and kind of decide what you think looks the best. And I don't know if I'll end up using those solids with the painterly or not. Maybe make a border, maybe bring in some solid color somewhere in the blanket. Maybe I'll make granny squares and really use a lot of it. But so this painterly is a 4-weight yarn. This is in the color Party Time. And I'm pretty sure it looks like a soft white with the fuchsia, green, blue, and yellow sprinkled in there. It's supposed to look like brush strokes. They call it a brush stroke print. And each of these skeins is tested and approved against 350 harmful substances. So it's great to use for children's blankets and things, as well as people who have skin sensitivities to various fabrics. It is 100% anti-pilling acrylic, and each of these skeins is 153 yards. I paired that with a couple of skeins of the anti-pilling worsted weight bright pink to kind of bring out that fuchsia color. And these skeins have 180 yards in them, so quite a bit of yarn. And then I also grabbed a couple of the green. This is the color bright green to go with that and bring those colors out. I think that this blue is another one. It's called Peacock. Again, all that anti-pilling. So I think that will shape up quite nicely. And I also got another color in the Painterly called Fireside. I really like that. It is more of a cream with the dark blue, and actually the peacock might have been for that, possibly. And then it's got a couple of different colors of browns, and then a color that is really almost a purple. There's actually a couple of different colors of blue. So I also got a clay in the anti-pilling to kind of pull some of that color out. And then this color is pumpkin, and it really goes nicely with some of the oranges that are in there. And then I thought I would try this purple. I know I'm probably not going to say this right, aubergine, to see if it could pull this purple stripe out of here. The purple is, it really is purple, but it's almost a brown. But I think actually that matches nicely, so I think it probably will pull that out. So really intended to use the neon colors more for probably either a baby blanket, or would definitely mix a lot of the solids with it. And this one I'm just going to kind of play with and see what I think. I do think that this peacock might pull that out, but I also think it kind of goes with this one as well. So we'll see. We might have to share. I also got a couple of the Premier Basics multis. I don't think I showed this one either. This is a brown, but it's colored walnut in the anti-pilling, again to go with that Fireside yarn. This is more contrast. So this is a worsted weight yarn, 250 yards of skein, 100% acrylic, 140 grams or 5 ounces. And I just really liked this blend of colors. It's like a sage green and a blue and a purple, violet, and even a yellow. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. I do love blankets, so definitely could end up in a blanket. And then I did also then buy some solids just because I don't know what I'm going to make and I wanted to have stuff that matched. And so I have this to pull out the purple. This is the color Violet in the Premier Basics. And this is also a 4-weight yarn, but it is 359 yards in a skein. Same fabric, 100% acrylic. That looks really nice together, I think. Here is a sage color that I think will pull the sage out of this. I didn't mention this color is actually called Impressionist Multi. I think this sage, oh yeah, see that really pulls the green out then, and you almost don't see that because there is so much blue and purple without that, so interesting. And then I also got another shade of purple. I wouldn't use them both probably together, but they both pulled different colors of purples out of this yarn. So have to make some decisions. Then I got 6 skeins of this Premier Basics Trendy. It's also a multi self-striping yarn. You can see it's a lavender and sage green and kind of a mauve color, a little bit lighter pink, a couple of shades of the lavender. So one of these lavenders might look good with that. The sage might look good with that. This is the color rose. So that actually can pull one of those colors out there. And then I got a basic crepe color in case I decide I want to tone things down a little bit. And then I also got another green called Spruce. So I just kind of have to decide which goes where, but I really enjoy looking at these yarn walls where I have all this storage and just seeing this stuff together and imagining how it might look in different types of projects and what blends well together, and that will kind of help me decide what I pull together. Then I got some of the solid puzzle yarns. You might recall that I ordered the crossword shimmer back before Thanksgiving when they were having the big sales on that, and I did end up with 6 skeins of that. They're out of that color crossword now, so the 6 skeins would not be quite enough to make a full-size blanket, so I wanted to grab a couple of solids that match. And actually Premier on their website with the puzzle yarns, they've taken those multi-yarns and show you which solids pair well with each of them. So I got a couple of skeins of this cream color. This is a 5 bulky weight, again matches the puzzle shimmer, and there are 328 yards in this acrylic skein. So I got a couple of those, and then one of the brown color, and the color name really is brown. And last but not least, got some multicolor cottons. So this is the Premier Home Cotton, 96 yards a skein, and I got 3 of each color. So this is the Blueberry Speckle, and this one is Retro Multi, and this one is Rainbow. So I started making some pot holders in the style that my grandmother used to have with the double-sided, where you crochet in the round and without increasing, and you eventually end up with an item that you then fold in on itself, and it creates that double layered pot holder. And they look really pretty with the multicolors, so I wanted to try Premier's cotton and see what I think of that. I have some cotton from Hobie, and then I have some of old cottons, including some that actually belong to my grandma. So I think in the near future I'll probably do a video just showing how easy those are to make and how nice they come out. You can really make one in a few hours, and they make nice gifts as well as nice things to use in your kitchen. So that's it for now. We have one more left, so watch for part 3. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Have a wonderful day and make something beautiful. Bye, everybody.